Guys, I hope you have a fantastic week so far. Once again, bring you guys a run video to look at how the galaxy reacted to the rise of chaos. That'd be pretty cool. You know, learn a little bit more about chaos and their influence in the Warhammer universe, because everyone knows that chaos is a pain in the absolute butt. So I thought it'd be kind of cool video to look into, and you know, Majiko always hits it home with his commentary is always great, and how he just gets right down to business is something I really enjoy because that's where everyone a lot of my Warhammer content is from him. So I'm definitely excited for it, man. Hope you guys are excited as well. Like always, please share the original video in the description. Show them some love. If you guys are my content, if you guys are reactions, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's get to it.
Hey guys and gal, despite being a fundamental part of the galaxy, the true emergence of chaos in the current setting took everyone by surprise. For some, it toppled their entire empire and pushed them to the brink of extinction. For others, it was a mild inconvenience, and for a select few, it was the best day of their life. But regardless of what
Probably
the
works.
reaction was, it made for some pretty dope lore that
Probably
we'll go over
works.
today. Before we get started, I'll let you in on a little secret. Despite it being October, orc models don't sell super well. So with that, also the king scale, if you want the details, friendly is pretty part of the rank. Now let's get into it.
Yes, sir.
Now for some context, chaos has been forcing the galaxy since before the War in Heaven. However, its power has ebbed and flowed many times. Just before the War in Heaven, the Old Ones, Necrontyr, and other races clapped Chaos's cheeks pretty hard. Then after the War in Heaven, the galaxy was mostly at peace and the Elder Gods ruled the warp. So once again, Chaos was suppressed and contained. It's only with the fall of the
Elder is such a flop of a faction, dude.
The Horus Heresy, which gave Chaos the real space power and
Such a flop.
again, has Chaos officially re-emerged. But it didn't re-emerge for everyone at the same time. Some races encountered it later than others, so it's not like a group email went out to everyone announcing that spiky demons that loved blood and rape were back on the menu. With that said, how did the Imperium react to the emergence of chaos? With total shock. The Emperor decreed that there were no gods or angels or demons, and everyone believed him. Sure, people were sus of the warp and what lurked within, however even the most knowledgeable, like Horus, merely believed the creatures of the warp to be isolated parasites or predators, not truly sentient. No one could comprehend that there was entire civilizations of demons and entities living in the warp under the rule of dark, powerful gods. With the Imperium so vast, obviously there were so many reactions of what happened from all the scattered Imperial forces during the heresy, as they each encountered chaos in their own way, but here are some of the best. When the Ultramarines were betrayed by the Wordbearers on Calth, they had demons and foul sorcery unleashed upon them. So they did what the Ultramarines do. They used as much common sense as possible. They saw that blades and fire worked greater than bolt gun and missile, deducing that they were fighting creatures of myth and legend, thus weapons of myth and legend would work better. They forced the nonsensical to make sense, and then they destroyed it. The White Scars and Blood Angels had a similar reaction to chaos. Rage. The Blood Angels' rage was inflicted upon them like a disease, forcing them to destroy every single demon on an entire world, while Sanguinius destroyed the demonic commanders. The Khan, on the other hand, was more of a cold fury. As he slaughtered the demons sent for him, he said, "I now have your sent demon, and I will hunt you to the end of time."
That's hard, dude.
They were upset that the Emperor had seemingly lied. There was indeed supernatural creatures led by organized sentient forces, but they were more upset at the demons themselves. The Lion was quite nonchalant about demons, having fought the corrupted beasts of Caliban as a child. He simply said, interesting. Librarians can now use warp powers again, since that seems to be the best weapon against these fiends. As for the traitor Primarchs, they were sort of forced to accept Chaos as an ally. Even Mortarion, who despised the warp and sorcery, knew he had no choice but to accept it, as if he didn't, his legion would be alone, hated by all. He even tried to dominate Chaos, justifying that if he managed to do so, it would be different and he wouldn't be this hypocrite. But that just ended with him turning into a big smelly moth demon.
What a dumbass, dude.
Shroud, his elite Terminator honor guard, after he started using the warp. Perturabo likewise was disgusted by Chaos and actively purged it from his legion. However, he eventually decided that it could be used as an effective weapon. Some Primarchs were a lot more clued in on Chaos than others, so they weren't as surprised. Corvus already knew of it, thus didn't take long to adjust to the new reality of the galaxy, and Russ just likes killing things. Sure, the Space Wolves were shocked by the warp's influence during the burning of Prospero, with some even dying from the sheer horror of it all, but most of the wolves handled it well and fought on. For Imperial citizens,
because they're beasts, no pun intended.
Many of them were easily corrupted or driven insane. However, some did actually manage to flee worlds that had fallen without themselves being corrupted. The only Imperials that took chaos in their stride were the Custodes and Sisters of Silence, who fought the forces of hell without a single moment of hesitation. How about the
Well, no shit. It's the Custodes. Like, those guys are the definition of OP. And the Sisters of Silence are also just absolute monsters, too.
Eldar?
So cool. I wish I knew more about them, man. At least I knew more about them.
When Slaanesh was born and destroyed their empire, they didn't all actually know how bad Slaanesh's birth was going to be, otherwise they wouldn't have done it. Some had a pretty good idea though. The Exodites fled early and escaped to the far-off Maiden Worlds. The Craft Elders saw the corruption and attempted to evacuate as many uncorrupted Elder as possible to spirit them away from the oncoming calamity. The Dark Elder were just lucky that they were living in the Wewe at the time of the fall. Some Elder remained pure but refused to abandon their people. For example, when the fall began, a number of Eldar Smiths, blessed by Vol, created a super weapon that they used to try kill Slaanesh. Despite it hurting her, it failed and they were slaughtered. Even the most depraved of the Elder were horrified when the fall began. Their reaction that of terror as they were being torn apart by demons and consumed. The emergence of Chaos drove the Elder to the brink of extinction and continues to plague them to this day, with Slaanesh having a claim on their souls. Well, I suppose now a contested claim with the awakening of Yned. The Tower, a funny one. As their empire was far away from Chaos strongholds and their souls were weak, thus didn't attract the attention of Chaos, they didn't encounter Chaos until quite recently. Even then, when Commander Farsight first fought the demons of Khorne, he thought they were a strange, aggressive Xeno race that had impressive teleportation technology, as evident by them being able to materialize.
I can see why they would think that, since the tower's only what, like 8,000 years old or something? Something. I could be lowballing that. If I am, I apologize. You guys can correct me in the comments, but I could see why they would think that, especially since that they've just recently have become more of a powerful faction. Powerful in quotes, if you mean, but technological advancements, I should say.
And then vanish when killed. Overall, it was a bit of a, that was fucking weird, instead of an existential crisis of the revelation of hell existing that most other races faced. The horror of Chaos has been slowly creeping up on the Tau, especially when the Death Guard almost breached the Startide Nexus, which would have ended in the heart of the Tau Empire being sieged and polluted, as well as Farsight's semis with Khorne, who has taken a liking to him. How about the Necrons? Well, as stated, the Necrons fought and beat Chaos as the Necrotier, and now they're
also their weapons are ridiculously strong too.
The Necrons have a lot of weapons to use against Chaos and are highly immune to chaotic effects, such as corruption, psychic attacks, and so on. So upon awakening and seeing Chaos as quite powerful, they were annoyed but not worried. Like coming back to your holiday house to see a rat infestation. Sure,
that's such a good way to put it.
But after a good old-fashioned extermination session and a bit of a renovation, the house will be back in order. Some Necrons, like Truzin,
dude, the Necrons go so hard, dude.
They can be quite predictable, whilst others exterminate them with extreme prejudice. This isn't to say that Chaos can't threaten the Necrons. A number of Tomb Worlds have been destroyed by the forces of Chaos. However, since they already knew of Chaos, had already beaten Chaos, and continue to beat Chaos, it's a bit of a whatever for them. The Orcs have been over the moon since Chaos emerged and became a threat. Like the Orcs, Chaos gets down and dirty in a fight. They don't use airstrikes and snipers and other boring methods of war that often. They charge in with their axes, screaming their war cries. The opening of the Great Rift, which the Orcs have nicknamed Gork's Grin, has made the Orcs even happier, as they will fly into the Great Rift and often be spat out at spicy war zones, an Orc's wet dream. Orcs are also mostly immune from Chaos or its effects, so they aren't really bothered by it. Chaos literally has nothing to offer the Orcs, which Chaos finds infuriating. The Orcs have actually emerged as some of the greatest counters to Chaos in the current setting, fighting them at almost every turn. The Tyranids didn't take much notice of Chaos when they first entered the galaxy. They targeted dense population centers, mostly Imperial or Tau sectors, and generally steered clear of heavily Chaos-corrupted areas. This is because the hive mind was tactical. It knew that hunting down Necron Tomb Worlds or Demon Worlds was going to end in a net loss of biomass, but hunting down Imperial or Tau Worlds, yummy yummy for my tummy. However, when the Great Rift opened, which is when Chaos actually became a genuine threat, the hive mind ate shit hard, with the psychic backblow actually knocking it out for a while before it managed to restart itself. Upon reawakening, it refocused on Chaos as a major threat. In turn, it then created a new anti-Chaos Hive Fleet Kronos, which contained way more ranged weaponry, as well as a more powerful shadow in the war presence. Kronos now hunts Chaos worlds and fleets, doing what it can to suppress Chaos and even destroy it. The Leagues of Votann, as always, are a bit starved in the lore at the moment. However, if you look at the Great Rift map, it shows it absolutely fucking up the middle of the galaxy, which is where the Leagues live, and many people theorize this is why they are making themselves known. They are being displaced. Overall, I'd say they aren't the biggest fans either.
That was good, man. That was good. Honestly, like I'm surprised at about how the Tyranids responded. Like I figured that they would not want to engage with Chaos because they're always going to lose a ton of biomass. Like you're not going to really win that with Chaos. And then how when the Great Rift happened, the Chaos kind of just not Chaos, excuse me, the Tyranids kind of flipped their mind like, oh shit, we got to treat these guys like a threat, and they actually made their own separate branch of the Hive Fleet to go after just the Chaos, which is pretty crazy because right now the Tyranids are in deep shit in my opinion. Yeah, sure, like they're expanding quickly, but with Chaos as well as Necrons, which are huge counters to them. Because if you get hit by a Tyranid, or not Tyranid, excuse me, a Necron weapon, it basically erases you. Like, you're a race, and that means that the battle mask can no longer be used, and that's something the Nids don't want. They do not want that, and then Chaos is a whole nother slap in the face. So I'm here for it. I'm hyped for it. Hope you guys are as well, man. It's cool. I can't wait for Necrons to awake a little bit more and see how the galaxy reacts to them next. So, but all in all, though, great video. Highly enjoyed it, man. Show him some love. He'll be in the description. Show him some love. If you guys are my content, if you guys are my reactions, please don't forget to like and subscribe. See you guys next one. Take it easy.